there, people. I'm just checking in a little bit early. Just wanted to check that I've got enough of a Wi-Fi connection to run here live, and it looks like I do, which is great. So I've got about a minute to go before we're going to get started. So if you've actually already jumped on, just pop a message in and say hi. Yeah. And hey, beautiful cat, thank you for being my first person to join me. I'm just going to jump over onto my computer to see if I have got access to the messages as they come in. Hey Kat, would you love to send me an actual message to see if I can get it through on my computer? Hi Charlotte, thank you for coming along, welcome. And thanks, Kat. Beautiful. Right. So I'm going to be working from here to my computer as we go through the night. Charlotte, where are you from and how have you connected up here this evening? Or what time is it where you are? I should probably keep talking. Anybody else as you pop in? Hi guys, it's 8 o'clock and yeah, we're probably going to give it another minute or so and then we'll get started. Hi Megan, how are you? Lovely to see you here. Oh, beautiful Charlotte. So Larissa Blake referred you and you're in Sydney. Welcome. Okay. So like I just said, I'm going to be referring over to the computer and pop things in the computer, but I can actually see questions coming up on the screen here as well, which is great. So please excuse my tech issues if we have any, because this is the first time for me, but yeah, perfect. Hi Melissa, hi Sarah. So what I might do is we'll just wait a little bit longer. Please feel free to pop comments in as you go along, and what we're going to be talking about is change. Yeah, so I'm going to get started because I know I appreciate how, hi Lisa, hi Sarah, I appreciate how busy everybody is in this time of night. Hopefully children are in bed, mine are, and please, 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 they stay that way. So welcome to everybody this evening, and thank you so much for joining me on this live workshop. So I've created this workshop to talk to you about change and how you can create change in your own life. So as a kinesiologist, so I am a kinesiologist, I work with people's energy in one-on-one sessions, I do Skype sessions, I run workshops face-to-face, and now I'm running online workshops. But one of the things that I consistently see with my clients and people in workshops, and I guess people in the wider public, are people who feel trapped in their life, that they're stuck in a rut, and they're really frustrated by that experience, that they can't seem to get moving, and that feeling that life is passing me by and I'm still stuck where I am and I don't know what to do to create the change to get everything moving. And so I see that so frequently, and I guess that is why I thought I need to create something that is going to help people just start the process of change. Look, and this is for if you've never done any personal development or personal growth work, this is perfect for you. If you have been doing that sort of work for years, but you're finding yourself stuck in a rut now, then this is perfect for you. And I suppose for me, and why I'm in a position to talk to you about this, is because I have been you. So for those of you who are just starting out perhaps and going, I'm stuck here in my life, it feels dead, I feel lost, I don't know where to go. I was you 5 years ago. Okay, so I know where you're at and I know how to change because I have. For those of you who have done lots of work and you know you kind of have had those times where you've had flow on, but then you've jammed up. I was you 2 weeks ago when I was prepping for all of this. I just jammed on up. And so what I had to do is I had to go back to basics. I had to go back to what I know works to stimulate change in the energy, the stagnant energy that was sitting in me. And so I did that work. And what I want to do tonight is I want to share with you the key learnings from my transformational experience. And I suppose, it's one of those things that people often say that our own experiences become our greatest tools as teachers. And I suppose maybe for the last 5 years, I've been in the transformation and the change, and it's probably only been in the last 6 months or so that I've been able to kind of step out and go, wow, I have learnt so much that I'm now in a position to teach others. Not just through one-on-one sessions, but to a broader audience, to teach others from my story, from my experience. So let me start by telling you a little about my story and my change. So by nature, I was always a very fear-driven person. What that looked like, I wasn't ever, wavering in the corner, gripped by anxiety. The way fear worked with me was I was an exceptional high achiever, perfectionist, controlling, stressed out, nutcase in some respects. It was pretty intense being that perfectionist and needing everything to run a certain way. So my own expectations of self drove that need for everything to be perfect. Now, in some respects, that worked for me because I achieved a lot. I would push myself, and I achieved a lot. But the other side of the coin, and it's the side that a lot of people don't see, was the impact that was having on me. And when I suppose prior to children, when I was working that corporate life, I was just in that world, and I guess I didn't take notice of it. But when I became a mother and I started to see how, and I feel the emotion coming through, I started to see how who I was impacting on my children, my little babies. I realized and I decided I had to change, because when you're trying to control toddlers so that they fit into some sort of box, so that conforms to the perfectionist world that you believe you need to fit in, and everything has to be a particular way, what I got really, really clearly was I was stifling the spirit of my children, particularly my oldest daughter, who is a very free spirit. And we came to loggerheads pretty early in the piece, probably when she was about 3. And I was still in that mode where I was trying to control everything. And look, my background's in safety. So I ran the safety of a brewery with my gorgeous friend Nat, who's in here. She had the role before I did. And so I needed to be like this and controlling and strategic. But taking that into motherhood, it didn't work. And my gorgeous girl pretty much let me know that something was going to have to change, and she wasn't. And it was pretty damn ugly for a couple of years there. And then there came a day where I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 7-month-old. And we were living in interstate, had no family around, had been a stay-at-home mum for 36 months, even though I'd never intended to be a stay-at-home mum. I had a hubby who's so supportive, yet had a full-on job, and I crumbled, and I couldn't get out of bed. And I just said, I can't keep doing this the way that I am. I actually hated the person that I was. I hated what I was doing to my children. I hated what I was doing to my relationship. I wasn't pleasant to be around. I know that my husband would walk on eggshells coming through the door. He never knew what he was going to get overnight. And okay, here's my thing, people. Here's my thing, and that's why I'm talking to you. Because I'm not the only one who does this, who did this. I know there's so many others out there like that. So I couldn't get out of bed. Within a few hours, I got my shish together again, as you do, and got back on it, back out in the playground with the other mamas, all got my stuff together. But I'd made a doctor's appointment, and 2 days later when I had that appointment, my hubby said, no, I'm fine. And he said, no, I think you need to go. So it was 7 o'clock in the morning, and I turn up, and this doctor sees me and, had never sort of seen me without 3 children clamoring all over me. And she's like, oh, Bernadette, what can I do for you? And of course, I was presented perfectly, as I always did. And I said the words that changed my life. I owned my story. And I said, I'm not coping. I owned my story there and then. And I wasn't planning on doing that. I was planning on brushing it all under the carpet. No, I'm good, no worries. And I didn't need any help from her at that time, because in me saying those words, I'm not coping, I freed myself from the perfectionist expectation that I had to cope all the time. And that stimulated the hugest change in my life that has brought me to where I am today. And yeah, I've had to do work, and yeah, it hasn't always been easy, but something changed in me because I can't keep doing this, and I want to change. The rut that I was in, I couldn't keep doing. And so I stepped up and I chose to change. Now, 2 weeks later, by chance, I ended up not by chance, I guess it's destiny, but I ended up sitting in a kinesiology course. I didn't even really know what kinesiology was. I knew it was a natural therapy. I knew it had to do with the physical body. That was my background. It felt like a natural fit, and it worked with my family. I sat in that course that first weekend, and I knew that my life had changed because everything I heard spoke to me. My intellectual mind was stimulated again. My heart was stimulated. My energy body opened. And that was the beginning of what can only be described as like the most phenomenal transformation. So who am I today? And I'm going to get to the lessons that I learned, because they're what's really important. So who am I today? I am a centered person. I am calm. I am deeply connected to my children. I have deep, meaningful relationships with the people in my life. I flow with life. I trust in life. I certainly still have my moments. Don't get me wrong. I can go off balance like the rest of you. But I do my work every day to hold on to this centered version of me, because I actually really like her. She's not closed off. My heart space is open, and that has taken a lot of work, but I still do work every day, and it's the daily habits that count to keep me in this state. So what I would like to share with you now, and hello to everybody who's been saying hi, and it's fine if you're late, and I'm just so grateful that you're here sharing this space with me. And you can pop back, if you were a little bit late, pop back to the beginning later on. But I think you've got the gist of it, the flow. And really, this is about me connecting to all of you. So I'm going to go through there's 12 key learnings, and I'm going to share those with you now. And then I'm going to introduce you to some of the tools that were transformational for me, and I believe will be transformational to you. And then we're going to get into asking some questions, and I'm really excited to be able to guide you in where your blocks are and what's going on for you. Okay, so first lesson. I suppose the thing is, when I started studying kinesiology, I learned the practice of being a kinesiologist. So I learnt the techniques, and I have this wonderful foundation. My course was extraordinary. But I think something else, something really valuable kicked in when I started studying kinesiology. And it wasn't through, touching this acupressure point or this technique or anything like that. It was I think I remembered so much about energy and who I really am. And the first thing I learnt was that everything is just energy. So everything we see, everything we feel, everything we experience is just energy. And energy is just vibration. You know, when I'm teaching children in their sessions, I say it's like this. Everything's just a vibration. So the food we eat is energy. The plants in our garden are energy. The wind in the air is energy. The words we speak are energy. The feelings we feel are energy. The people we see are energy. Everything is energy of varying density, of varying vibration. So when we start to think about life in that way, that everything's just energy, and what we do is we label these things as different things rather than just seeing them as energy. When we see them as energy, they don't have as much power over us, because Isaac Newton famously discovered that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it just changes form. It transforms. And so that led me to my second learning. So if you've got pen and paper, jot these down. First one is everything's just energy. Second learning was I can change my energy. And that's really powerful, because it's just vibration within my body, or my energy body as a bigger picture. And I can change my own energy. So suppose this started in kinesiology when I was studying, and you know, we'd be doing examples and I would be feeling something. So I'd be thinking about an emotion or a memory, and then I'd use a simple technique, and then suddenly I'd feel different. And I went, well, my energy is changing, something's shifting in me. So for example, these points here, they're called emotional stress release points. And just by putting your fingers on these acupressure points, you shift energy. So when we're thinking or feeling emotional and we apply our fingers to these acupressure points, there's a shift in emotional energy that takes place. So we're a different person than we were before that. But I kind of took that further and went, well, it's not necessarily about this acupressure point or rubbing that point or doing, you know, something on the physical body. I kind of went, I can change energy by what I do or what I think. So if I'm feeling funky, not funky cool, like in a funk, if I go and sit outside and have a cup of tea in the sunshine and give myself some space, I feel different because of the experience. And that's because my energy has changed. I might go for a walk on the beach and I feel different for the experience. Or I might go and spend time with somebody who really irritates me. And so my energy changes because of the experience. And so we start to see that we can change our energy by the choices that we make. Next lesson that I learned was emotions. So how we feel are just energy. They are just a vibration. And we put a name to them. So we call it fear, or we call it anger, or we call it sad, happy, joy. And all they are vibrations of different frequencies. We just label them something. But when we start to think of our emotions as just a vibration, and we know that that vibration can change, then we become very empowered to change our own emotions, how we feel. So our emotions are held within our energy body and our physical body. So our experiences, our memories from this life are held within our cells, our physical cells in our body. Now, when we have an experience, that memory becomes embedded within the cell. And how we feel in that experience becomes attached to that cell. And as we move through life, if we don't heal that or release that emotion when we experience it, it stays embedded in the cell. And then we go through life and we have these certain experiences that then stimulate or trigger an emotional response. So for example, you may have been me just think of an example. You may have been married and your ex-husband may have cheated on you. So you remember the feeling of being betrayed, okay? And now you're in a new relationship and say your partner, your new partner goes, I'm going to go for a ride. And I should be back around 12. So he goes for a ride, but he's not back till 1:30. And you start to feel yourself reacting, and he comes home and you go, well, where were you? And he's like, oh, I just went for a coffee after my ride with a couple of the blokes that I ride with. And suddenly you blow a fuse. You completely and utterly lose it. Because, completely irrationally, because his betrayal, him not telling you, him lying to you, him misleading you, has triggered the emotion that's attached to being betrayed, the memory of being betrayed. And so that is what happens as we move through life. We have these triggers constantly that are activating past emotional energy, past emotional memories. And so we find ourselves kind of like in this roller coaster of emotions when we don't release emotions as we experience them. So I want to explain to you something really funny that happened, well, interesting that happened to me today. I think I was gifted with this experience to share it with you. It's the opposite of what happens when you actually work on and clear and release and balance the emotions attached to memories. So this morning I was walking home from school drop-off and I'd noticed that my oldest sister had rung and I'd missed a call, and it was 9 o'clock she'd rung, and I thought that was a bit of an unusual time to ring. So I got my phone, I thought I'll just call her back while I'm walking home. And my phone did this funny thing, so I just couldn't get the telephone section to come up on the screen. So I switched it off, turned it back on. I thought, that's really strange. And when it came back up, I saw all these flashes. When it turned back on, I saw these flashes of missed calls from my brother-in-law, my husband, and my sister. All there. And I was like, shit. Excuse my language, but shit. Because a memory, a traumatic memory, probably the most traumatic memory of my life, got activated. Okay? So, 7 years ago, the exact same thing happened. I hadn't checked my phone for an hour or so, and when I checked it walking down the street, I had all these missed calls from my brother-in-law and my hubby. And when I rang my hubby, in that example, 7 years ago, I found out my dad had passed away. So that memory was sitting in me. And I'm thinking, all these missed calls. And I'll admit there was a surge of panic, but it was momentary. Because I knew that in that moment I could close off my heart and let fear come in and totally railroad me and start catastrophizing if I allowed that to happen. But I actually opened myself and I thought, no, this is going to be okay. With an open heart, this is going to be okay. And no matter what happens on the other end of that phone call, it's going to be okay. So I then rang my hubby. Bizarrely, it came through to my message bank, which made me go, oh, what is going on here? And then I rang my sister and she answered and I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, nothing. I'm just wondering when I can get a treatment with you. And I was like, My point being, I have done a lot of work around the grief of losing my dad and the memory attached to that Sunday morning when I received those phone calls. So the memory is still there, but the emotions attached to it are balanced. They've been released. And so there's nothing to activate them. There was that fear going, this is going to happen. But I kept my heart open and I went, even if it does, I will be okay. Because I know that to be true. And so truth got me through that experience. And when we keep our energy open by releasing our stuff, our emotional energy, through daily habits, then we keep our heart open, we don't close off, and we can move through life with much more ease, which I guess is what it's all about. Next learning was our thoughts. Just like our emotions, our thoughts can be changed. So our thoughts are energy. What we think, we send out to the universe. And they're just energy. And so we can change or reframe our thoughts, but we have to be aware. So if you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you go, God, I'm looking old. And then you go become aware that you're sending a negative thought out into the universe, you just reframe it. And you go, God, I'm looking great this morning. And the energy is completely different. So our thoughts are energy, and our thoughts, just like our emotions, can be changed. And then we put a different energy out there into the universe. So we have to train ourselves to be increasingly aware of our thoughts. So that's about being present. And the more work you do, the more daily work that you do, the more commitment you have to your change, keeps you in this space. So then when the thoughts start going crazy, you pull them back in and you reframe them. And essentially what you start to do is you become the mistress of your own thoughts. Our thoughts are often dictated by the media, by society in general, by our parents, by our friends, by our ancestors, by our past lives even. And none of those are your truth. Your truth is what you are choosing to think. Everything else is just a perception, and you can change your perception at any point in time through making the choice. Okay? You have to choose to change your thoughts. And our thoughts are really powerful. And I suppose this is the next lesson, or my next learning. And there's a lot written around this with the law of attraction. Our thoughts create our reality. So what I'm thinking, I am attracting. Because our thoughts are just a vibration. We send that vibration out to the universe. The universe, through the law of attraction, will reciprocate that. So if you're thinking, I am not worthy of money, the universe will reciprocate. Law of attraction says, you believe that, that is what you get. So when we start to flip our thoughts, our conscious thoughts, and do the deep work to flip our subconscious thoughts, then our life starts to change because we start to call in the positives. Okay, next learning is a really big one, which is I am the only person that is responsible for my energy. So we can all go into blame. And he made me feel like this. She said that and I felt that. He did this and that made me feel like that. Or this happened and that's why my life is a struggle. Okay? Nobody else can impact on our energy unless we allow them to. So we have to take responsibility for our own energy body and the energy that we bring into a space and the energy that we allow ourselves to absorb from other people. Nobody can make you feel sad. Nobody can make you feel angry. That is your choice. So if you are being triggered, we then have to, and I can talk about my children from this perspective because they're my greatest teachers. They're my biggest challenge. And yet they're my greatest loves. But I can get triggered by them and I can go, you're making me feel so angry. Truth is, nobody can make me feel angry. It's the choice I have. Now, in that moment, and this is what I'm getting better at, and this is what I teach in my mother's workshops, is in that moment, I choose if I want to allow the vibration of anger to continue to resonate through me, or I can choose to release it. I suppose there is a third. You can choose to suppress it and push it down and pretend, no, everything's good. But that energy still exists. So we work out ways of learning to acknowledge it and then release it. And I choose to be different in this experience. So what I'm doing daily with my children is when I'm being triggered, and they're kids, of course I'm going to be triggered. when I'm being triggered, I'm catching myself and I'm choosing to stay open. So even an hour ago, an hour and a half ago, when I had totally wet hair and, needed the kids to get to bed because I had no makeup on, wet hair, had to get all this set up. Not all this, some of it was set up, wanted to be in the right space. And I felt myself closing off. And I thought, no, what I need to do is stay open, to keep giving them love, not to get irritated, not to get angry, because that's the old pattern, that's my old behavior. And so as I was blow drying my hair, I did the work around keeping myself open. And then I said to them, when I finish, then before we go to bed, I'm going to read, a chapter of the book that we're reading. And I gave them that time and my heart felt open. They feel better for it, I feel better for it. But it was a choice that I made at that time. So we are all responsible for our own energy. Next point, next learning. Where we focus, our energy flows. So where focus goes, energy flows. So if you are focusing on how difficult your life is, how poorly you have it, how tough it is on you, then that's where your energy is going, and you make those experiences more and more powerful. The more you focus in on them, the more power that they get. Okay, if you choose to focus in on the positives, then that is where your energy is going, and they then become empowered. Okay, so the power of our thoughts and the power of our intention. So where we choose for our thoughts to go can completely change our experience each day. And so setting an intention each day really aligns you to the direction of where you're going to go. If you get out of bed and you go, today's going to be crap, guess what? It's going to be crap. If you get out of bed and you go, today I choose to feel calm and at peace. Now you might have some little wobblies in there, but if you keep in alignment with that and you keep choosing to focus your intention on that, then that's where your energy is going. Calm and at peace. Calm and at peace. And then you will see that life flows. And this is what I have learned. Okay, next lesson, learning. I get to choose what my life looks like. I get to choose how I live. Through how I deal with my energy, through how I deal with my emotions, through how I deal with the thoughts, and where I focus my energy. So we are so powerful in that when we take responsibility for our energy and we understand that everything is energy, and we understand that we can change our energy at any point in time, we become extraordinarily powerful in creating a different life experience, okay? A different moment, a different day, a different week, a different month, a different year. And that is what I've done. Now, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, it might have been I had, one good half hour a day. And I'm pretty proud to say that I probably have one crap half hour a day. And most of the rest of the time, things flow. Occasionally there's a week where it's a bit ugly, but we all have those. Next lesson is, if you want to change, you have to choose to do something different. If you want to change, you have to do something different. I love this quote, that if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. Okay? So if you are in a rut and you keep repeating the same patterns day after day, you keep eating the same foods, you keep hanging out with the same people, you keep sticking in the same job that you hate, you keep mulling over the same derogatory thoughts about yourself or about your relationship or about your money status, you keep repeating those patterns, then that is exactly where you are going to stay. If you want to change, if you want to get out of that feeling of being trapped, then you have to choose to do things different. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. When I first started, I had like all these really cool kinesiology techniques that I was using, that I was being taught and I was practicing and things like that. But what I ended up realizing was anything, and I suppose this is another learning, anything that was too hard or too complicated, I would fall by the wayside really, really quickly. It would just feel too hard and I can't do it. Okay, so let's, use the example of if you go on a diet, and maybe all of us have done that at one stage or another, and you go really, 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 really extreme and it just feels too hard, crumble after about 2 days, maybe by the first afternoon even, have been known to do that. But if it feels too hard, you're going to ditch it. So my other learning was how to create change in your energy, how to create change in your life. You start by doing simple things every day that shift your stagnant energy. Simple daily habits done repeatedly that stimulate a change in your energy. It doesn't have to be complicated. The simpler the better. If you keep it simple, then you're going to stick with it. If it feels too hard, great excuse to give up. Yeah, I tried and it didn't work. I'm here because, I've tried these things and it's just too hard and I'm meant to be here. And you stay stuck in struggle and you stay stuck in victim. And you're never going to get anywhere. So simple daily habits to get things moving. Okay, my last 2 learnings, and these are really, really big ones. And one that I've been learning more and more recently is you don't run when it gets hard. When you're working on change and you hit a massive boulder. So I'll share this metaphor that I often see, and it's just come to me again, about, when somebody starts on their transformational journey. I see it often like, the Biggest Loser obstacle courses that they do, or the Survivor obstacle courses. And so, you start off and then there's like, a little wall that you've got to get over. And then there's, a log that you've got to climb and navigate over. And then you might flow along in a river for a while. We all love those flow alongs in the river when we're changing. And then you come across a mother of a boulder. And the thing is, when we're changing and growing, we're going to have to face some tough times. Because if we're honoring the experience of change, we're going to be facing some of our stuff, some of our stories. And we have to own our stories. And when we own our story, we have to go into the story. We have to feel the feels. We have to drop into it. And we cannot run when it gets tough. Okay? The last 6 months or so, one of my favorite lines is we have to honor our darkness. So we are made up of light and dark. We're made up of love and fear. We are made up of yin and yang, feminine, masculine. There is a duality that exists within all of us. And there is light and there is dark. If we go, no, I'm a light, shiny, happy person and I just don't want to look at the dark, then we're ignoring a fundamental aspect of ourselves, and we can't grow if we don't look into the dark corners of our soul, as I say. And when we go into that space, and I've been taking clients in here so beautifully the last few weeks, when we go into that space and we just sit into that space and we feel where it is in our body, where that darkness is, where that pain is. And yeah, damn right, it's uncomfortable. But when we sit in it and we honor it, suddenly it starts to change. Suddenly the light starts to come in. So I've also likened this to, if any of you have done yin yoga. So yin yoga is where you get your body in a particular position, really uncomfortable position, and you hold that really incredibly uncomfortable position for 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes. And like, it's painful to start with, but you just surrender into it and you drop into the pain. You keep dropping into the pain, dropping into the pain. And then this beautiful thing happens is suddenly you feel the pain start to dissipate. And then suddenly it's like, it actually feels light. And this anterior delt muscle that's like, it suddenly starts to release and it feels light. And it almost feels like ecstasy. It feels good. That is where we find our gold, the nuggets of gold or the treasure chests of gold that exist in the darkest corners of our soul. So we can't run in the tough times. When we're in the tough times, that's when we've got to really dig deep. That is when we've got to sit and we've got to do our work. And you can't throw it out the window at those times. You've got to jump into it. And on that, change, growth, transformation, whatever we want to call it, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be a struggle. Yes, we may have those moments, but it doesn't have to be like that the whole time. We can have a flowing, easy, graceful experience as we transform. And that's what my intention is always, to transform or to grow with ease and grace. In the early days, it wasn't that way. It was a bloody train wreck, to be honest, because I didn't have many people around me to support me as I expanded really rapidly. And I suppose that's why I want to be here with you guys, to support you, to guide you in your transformation so that it can be done with flow, it can be done with ease, it can be done with grace. And they are the 12 learnings from my transformation, which has brought me to who I am today, which has brought me to this moment, to teaching other people how to do these things. So I'm going to open up for questions really, really soon. But what I wanted to do is now introduce you to a tool that I have developed. It's a really simple tool. It's actually a transformational guide to take you through 10 simple steps to do for 10 days that are going to kickstart your transformational experience. So I created this. To be honest, I don't even know where I created this from. I looked when I, got it back, or I showed it to somebody and then I got it back and I started reading it again. I can't actually even remember creating it. It just came out of me, out of here, I reckon, and a little bit of guidance from up here. And I love it. Why do I love it? Because it's a really simple tool. It's 10 things that you can do daily that aren't going to take up loads of your time, that aren't going to confront you, that aren't going to make you run in the other direction. They're 10 simple things that I know will create change in your life, because what these 10 little techniques are doing, they're stimulating stagnant emotional energy. And when we get that emotional energy moving, then life starts to change, because our energy starts to flow again. And when our energy starts flowing, it's like a river that's been stagnant, that's been stuck like a dam, the walls of a dam. And suddenly we start releasing the emotional energy through these really simple techniques, and the walls of the dam slowly but gently, with grace, open, and life starts to flow again. Our health returns. Our positive thoughts return. Our love returns. Our relationships heal. Our money starts flowing in. Our happiness just comes back. We get to feel peace and content. And that is what's happening. And when, there's lots of research around, you've got to do things for 21 days to create, the addiction, or I can't even think of the right words there, but you know what I mean. I've gone 10 days. Why? Because I know that after 10 days, you're going to feel a difference. And you're going to keep sticking. You're going to stick with this beyond those 10 days, because they're so simple and they're so rewarding. And so I am really excited to be able to offer this to you guys. What I'm going to do in a sec, I'm going to put a link into the comments, and at the end I'll put a link to in the top of this live post, where you can jump onto the sales page and have a look, and hopefully you can purchase this guide. Now, I want to preface this by saying you are not going to be remortgaging your house to buy this. Let's talk 2 cups of coffee. Or if you're drinking decaf almond caps like I do, It might be 1.5 cups of coffee because they're bloody expensive. But anyway, $9.95, guys, for this beautiful guide that you will get. You'll also get a copy of the little wall chart, which has like got 10 daily habits on it as well, which are very much in alignment with the guide. But here's the clincher, and this is where I'm really excited. For those of you who buy the guide by next Monday, by next Sunday, let's say, I am going to be running a live transformation experience with you in a private Facebook group. So what the heck does that mean? Because I know some of you haven't done like online stuff before, and some of you I know don't do Facebook too much. So I'm really chuffed that you guys are here. So what that means is I've set up a private Facebook group. When you purchase your guide, I join you, or you get an invitation to join the private Facebook group. And next Monday, we're going to start the 10-day transformation experience. And what I'm going to be doing is in that space, I'm going to be coming in every morning with inspiration, with guidance, with advice, and every evening to touch base with you. Where are you at? What's going on? Where are you struggling? Intuitively, I will be able to go, right, who's up there? Carly Ford, you need to be focusing your energy on this. This is what you need to focus on clearing. Tina, you need to focus on this, or you need to focus on that. And you ask me questions. And what we do, we hold each other's hands in that space, and I support you in those first 10 days of your transformation. And what you're going to experience by committing to those 10 days is a huge change that you are then going to be able to, you're going to want to continue that. And you can stay in that Facebook group, and I will keep tapping in. And we're going to do live rounds every now and then. I don't know. Cards on the table. I don't really know. It could be once a month that we do it. It's really healthy for me to do this as well. For myself, I do most of these techniques anyway. But for me to be able to guide people is in this sort of space is really an honor, and it's really putting me in a space where I know I'm supposed to be. So that is where we are at, and I'm so excited about running that first transformation experience starting next Monday, the 30th of October. So what I would like to do now before I open up for questions is, this is going to be interesting now. I did have a plan that I was going to say, anyone who would like to win the free 30-minute session for me, give me a yes please in the comments, and then what I'm going to do is do my famous muscle testing, and I'm just going to muscle test down through the list, and when it goes like that, that's going to be that person. Okay, that's the way I'm going to do it. So give me a yes please, yes please, yes please. You keep those going. No, I'm going to jump onto the computer so I can get those up, and then I will start muscle testing. Look, that 30-minute session, we're just going to jump in. I'm not going to get history. I'm not going to get too much stuff. I'm just going to jump in and just going to go, right, here's key emotional blocks, key blocks that you need to work on. Here's key beliefs. And you're going to get like a bag full of stuff to be working on really quickly. That's going to be yummy. I wonder who it's going to be. Kylie Smith, I just saw. Yes, good. You heard that bit. Yes, please. Good. Let's not do that now. Okay. There is not tech issues. We are on track. So I'm just getting. Okay. So keep yes pleasing, guys, and then I'm going to muscle test through, and while we're just getting those yes pleases, and then I am going to open up, so get ready to ask me questions. I have got can I just say I'm loving this, and I know we're pushing for time, but I've got my emotion chart here. My intuition is on, if you can't tell, so I'm really, really excited to start answering your direct questions. So while those yes pleases are coming, I'm just going to show you when you purchase the guide, it'll come through as a download. So you can download it, you can print it off, or you can work from it electronically. Good idea to buy a journal so you can do some journaling. Has anyone seen that fly buzzing around here? It's doing my head in, but anyway, and release that. So this is what the guide looks like, and I've printed off a copy and bound it because I like doing things like that. And just to give you a look of the inside, so each day it's got an outline of what you're going to do, and each day it's essentially pretty much the same thing, and there's space for you to write things down. They're really simple things like gratitude and forgiveness and self-love. Really beautiful, really simple. I'm actually really proud of this, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So I think we've got everybody down for the yes pleases. I am going to muscle test my way through. So, do you know what? I'm going to muscle test through here. So you guys can see, you all trust me anyway, so. Okay, I've got 2 people, and I can do 2 people because this is my gig. Oh, bugger. No, okay, I just lost your names. Charlotte Campbell Stephen, yay! I'm going to do a session with you. We can do that via Skype. Yeah, super excited. And the other person was it was Tennille Mugridge. Perfect. So, everyone else, I'm sorry if it wasn't you. But yeah, please, you're going to get so much out of the guide itself, but so much from me in that space as I guide you. When I think about being there and I know what I'm going to offer, it's exciting. So, and here's something to just, before I open up for your questions, or actually start writing down your questions, guys, if you've got a question. Hey, Sarah, my darling. Here's something about intention and focus. So I had an intention that I was going to get 40 people live on this this workshop, and I just had 42. So where your focus goes, your energy flows. So, okay, now, who would like some guidance? See me get comfy now. And let's just open this up for about the next 10 minutes, if that's okay with you guys. Who would like some guidance? Who's feeling particularly stuck and would like a little kickstart, a little clarity of where they need to start working? What are the key emotional block that they need to start focusing on to get their energy moving? Okay, so Natalie is saying, so when you say do the work, is this what the guide will help us with? Absolutely, Nat. So it gives you tools to do the work. Simple tools to do every day, and you do them, you create the habit around them, and then they're simple, but they're powerful when you commit to them and you follow them through. So the guide will take you through those, and the live transformation experience I'll hold your hand through that. Okay, hope that answered that for you, Nat. Jody, can I please have a mantra to get me through to Monday, please? Okay. What's today? Today's Wednesday. I'm going to, Jody, just tune into the key emotion that we're working with. Okay. So Jody, I hope you're okay with this, but this is about you being envious of another female. So just message me back here, and if this resonates, envy being, I want what she's got. So whom, and you don't have to put the name, but if that makes sense to you, who are you being, oh, sorry, today's Tuesday. What day did I say it was? Doesn't matter. Who, is there a female that you want what she's got, because that's actually getting in your way of moving forward. So Kylie, you get back to me on that, and the emotion, the mantra would be, I'm just testing that. Okay, so Kylie, for you, if your focus is on what she's got and what I don't, then the mantra that I'm getting that you need to be focusing on is, I write my own story. When we're focusing on other people's stuff, then we can't, our intentions, our energy is out there. I write my own story. This is my story. This is my experience. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. This is where my energy is. So I write my own story. I hope that makes sense for you, Jody. Katie, what the heck happened to me this morning, and what do I need to know about it? Whoo! Let me just tune in. Sadness, hun. Oh, yours in general. Oh, okay. So what I'm getting is the emotion of sadness about life in general, not your life, but about life. About life, the state of the world. Okay, so that's pretty big. You know what you need to do about it? And I can't remember, this came up for a client the other day and I loved it for their homework, and I loved it. It's focus on the good. So what's good about this moment? You know, when we're moving through the day, instead of like walking down the street and looking at, you know, the people who are being less than pleasant and focusing on that. In that moment, what's good about this? The sun's shining, okay? Focus on the good. So keep pulling yourself back into every situation. You might be in a meeting at work and you might be, you might be just feeling frustrated and annoyed about that. Focus on the good. What's good about this situation? Because it's like you're picking up everything that's going on in the world, and it's actually making your heart sad. And so it's closing off. It's not fear, but it's closing off. And so when we focus on the good in the world in any moment in time, then our heart space opens. When our heart space is open, and when I'm talking about our heart space, I'm talking about our heart energy channels, then it allows flow in all other aspects of life. So Katie, I hope that helps. Beautiful. Okay, Athena, I'm stuck on losing baby weight, hormones imbalance, PCOS, combated my anxiety through hypnotherapy, but this is my next thing. Okay, so Athena, I'm going to talk to you, what's the key emotion that you need to start focusing on releasing, okay? And then if you are going to do the transformation experience and use the guide, then this is almost like your intention moving through that is about releasing this. So yeah, it's fear. So that's your fear for a female. So I'm curious, Athena, have you got a daughter? Because I think this might be jamming you up, your fear for your might not actually I'm actually getting that's past life. It's fear for a daughter in a past life that's coming through, and since having babies, this has been activated in you. okay? And it's kind of it's kind of getting in and jamming you up a lot, okay? Let me know if that resonates with you, okay? Deep fear hanging around. So focusing on my babies are safe, my children are safe. And, you know, if you don't feel that they're safe, they're picking up on that and they're responding to that, okay? So they will pick up on your fear. So just be in love with them, not in fear with them, okay? Hope that helps. Kylie, do you work with people with energy issues due to chronic fatigue, autoimmune condition? Yes, Kylie. So, chronic fatigue, I mean, they're so multifaceted on a medical field, and sorry, from a medical perspective and from an energy perspective. But yes, so purely anecdotally, chronic fatigue is a complete depletion of the life force energy. So our energy, our chi, our life force is what flows through us. And in chronic fatigue, it's just chronically depleted. Oftentimes there's a lot to do with the liver meridian, the liver energy, because often chronic fatigue will come on the back of the likes of glandular fever or viruses like that. But there can be, I'm getting like liver energy, suppressed anger and resentment type of energy. So within our liver meridian, the emotions of anger, resentment, bitterness, those rage, those type of energies sit. And if they haven't been released, then they can start to create disharmony in that energy channel, and that can start to manifest on the surface level. So I'm picking up maybe a little bit of that. And autoimmune conditions, again, very, very complex and multifaceted. Often from a medical perspective, it involves inflammation. Inflammation is anger. Inflammation is about the system is inflamed. So repressed emotions is what I have seen anecdotally with clients with autoimmune conditions. So I have worked with a lot of women of, our age, who are presenting with early stages of autoimmune markers, but they're often women who don't show emotions, have been told it's not safe to show emotions, they're not allowed to show emotions, they just suppress. And so all of this emotional energy is suppressed until it starts to attack the body, and that's what an autoimmune condition really is. It's the attacking of the body. Kim Lanson, yes. So I work with people all over the world via Skype, and like I've been doing here, just muscle testing on myself. I muscle test in that way and pick up your energy, your belief programs, your emotions. It's really powerful, and because I work I predominantly work on the emotional level and around belief programs and sabotage program. That's how I can be effective in this space. If I was working, as a kinesiologist on structural issues, or diet or allergies, there's absolutely no way I would work via Skype. But because it's emotional stuff, then it works really effectively. And where would I start? Okay, key emotion. I'm going to just do two more people, because I'm going to put that link. Actually, if you don't mind for 1 second, because there's quite a few people who are jumping off at the moment. I'm just going to put the link to the where you can purchase the guide into the comments now. There we go. Okay, so that's in there now. I'm going to see. I'll also put it straight into the sorry guys, it's not, is it letting me update link to offer? Okay, and then that's in there. Okay, sorry about that. Kim, where would you start? Contentment. You're not. It's about, you need to, here's, before you even start on guide, it's about you being discontent with your life in general. So get pen and paper and just start journaling. What are the key things? What am I discontent about? And then flip it. Okay, what are the things that make me feel content? What are my blessings? Okay, that's where I would start with you. Hi, Catherine. I'm just going to move up. How do I move forward? Sonia, how do I move forward and forgive? Sorry, Katie, my pleasure, hun, my pleasure. Sonia, how do I move forward and forgive? Sonia, if you jump into, you need the discipline and the commitment to doing the work in between our sessions. If you get the guide, every day you're going to be doing forgiveness work, okay? Forgiveness work on yourself, forgiveness work on other people. And it's that consistency that you need. It's a jumping in and jumping out doesn't get the opening happening to the extent that you need to. So that is where I would start. Athena, yeah, 18, a daughter, 18 months old. I think something got activated when you had your daughter around a past life, around fear. So something may have happened in a past life with a daughter, and then this has activated that old fear within your energy body. And then whenever anything little, even little, goes on with your daughter, that fear is just being activated. So that's what you would need to be focusing on. Okay. I'm just going to look, if people want to keep going, I'm happy to keep going. So if you can't, thank you for joining me. I value this experience so much. And I really hope to be able to continue working with you in the transformation experience, so I can guide you in you getting started. So if you do have to go, thank you. If you want to stay, I'm going to keep answering and tuning in for a little bit longer, just because I like to do what I do. So Carly, I feel like I'm overanalyzing everything. Can you please give me one thing to focus on which will help me get the ball rolling? Absolutely, my sweet. Okay, so Carly, I'm getting the emotion of blame. You're blaming another female for something. Do you know who that female is? Because that, as a starting point, is getting in the way. You continuing to hold on to an old pain around a female. Yeah, don't think, we won't go into specifically who that is, but I think you probably know who it is. So you need to start doing some forgiveness work for this female. So in the guide daily, there is forgiveness. Like I just said to Sonia, there is forgiveness work to do. That's where you need to start. That's really jamming you up. Even if you're not consciously aware of it, subconsciously it's still there and it's really jamming you up. So hope that helps. Let me know. Sharon, hello, my beautiful. Have a few mind meanderings I'm feeling through. Curious for a clue that may lead to supporting on of these to stand out. Okay, Maylene. Okay. Okay, Sharon, it's a choice that you've made around a female to do with work. So something blocking you up there, a choice you have made and you're unsure of, a choice that you've made around a female to do with your work that you're unsure of. It's getting in the way. It's a bit unresolved. You need to resolve that one because it's just slowing things down. It's blocking things. It's blocking your normal flow. Okay, I hope that helps. Jacinta, so I was making some positive changes in my life, diet and emotion, fallen off the wagon recently and finding it difficult to get back on the wagon. Any words of wisdom to help me get back to making these positive changes again? Yes, honey, Let's do this transformation experience together, because it will. That's going to be you giving you half an hour a day, which is going to make a huge difference. Key emotion that you need to start working on. Irritability. Oh, you're irritating yourself. Why are you irritating yourself? Okay, so let's get started even before you start, if you do come on the transformation experience, before next Monday. Oh, you're irritating yourself. You need to start doing some forgiveness work on yourself, okay? Because you're annoying yourself, basically. So I forgive myself for. And I feel like it's kind of recent stuff, okay? I hope that helps, beautiful. Paula, what one thing should I start to focus on first, or will the guide tell me where to start? The guide it won't tell you where to start as such. It will just start you, okay? And energy will start flowing. So it's kind of holistic in that it's working on a few different things at once, but setting an intention every day leads, sort of sets up each day for what you want to clear. So, but overall, if my intention in testing for you is, what is the overall intention for you going into the transformation experience would be. Okay, it's about brooding, which is sitting on the same old thoughts, okay? So your intention would be that you reframe your thoughts, that you release old thought patterns, and that by doing daily habits, your energy is going to start flowing more, and then you're going to become, and by creating habit around doing it, you're more focused on your energy, and then you're going to be more aware of your thoughts. So when they come in, those old thoughts, those brooding thoughts, you're going to catch them, and then you're going to be reframe them. So it might be, I'm not good enough. And you catch yourself thinking those same old thoughts, and you can just reverse it. No, I am good enough. I am good enough. Okay? Hope that helps to get you started. Okay. Internet connection a little bit here. Alyssa, beautiful. Thank you for coming. Tennille, excited. We'll tee up a time to do that. Shannon, love your work, Bernadette. Thanks for sharing. It's such an honor. Shannon, hello, gorgeous girl. Who else? Sally, every time you talk about Athena and her daughter, my feed is filled with crazy, really loud static noises. Thought you'd find that interesting. Yes, very interesting. Maybe you were her daughter in a past life. Ooh, just ignore that, people. Hi, Sarah. It's so nice to see you here. And Carly, yep, you know what I'm talking about. Good. Charlotte, let's touch base and book in that 30-minute sesh. That'll probably end up being a little bit more than 30 minutes, knowing me. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 more questions, if that's okay. Catherine, I've put on a lot of weight. I'm feeling down, lonely, often trying to pick myself up and keep going. Okay, it's about getting that positive energy flowing. Okay, and the more we do positive things, the more that it's easier to keep that flow going. So what the key emotion Catherine, I'm getting that you're being drained by female. Okay? That they're draining your energy. And so it is actually quite hard to pick yourself up. So if you know who that female is, use this affirmation: I lovingly release, insert name, I lovingly release Sally, and reclaim my energy. Or I lovingly release Sally and reclaim my power. Okay, set that intention. So whoever that female is, okay, I hope that talks to you. Melissa Herring, I got skipped over after Kylie. Oh, I didn't see you. I'm just going to go back, okay? Sorry, Melissa. Let me find where you were. Ah, no. Oh. Sorry, sweet. Do you want to pop your question in again? Because it's, Melissa, pop it in there again because it's not coming up on the feed for some reason. Okay. My pleasure, Carly. My pleasure, Sharon. Hi, my gorgeous Paya. I keep dreaming about snakes. I hate snakes. They freak me out. My subconscious trying to tell me something. I'm going to give you an emotion, okay? Did we have a snake dream with you before? I have a feeling we did. Okay, let me just check. Okay. Snake, boa constrictor, you're feeling smothered by a male. You might need a little bit of space, okay? Smothered by a male. Give yourself a little bit of space, okay? To you, gorgeous. Kylie, hello. I need to move on from my worry and anxiety. Where do I start? Okay. Here we go. I'm getting Kylie. It's about you feeling responsible for other people in general. So you're worrying about everyone else and not investing enough in you, my darling. Okay? You need to start investing in you because everything's going out and you're worrying about, you're feeling responsible for everyone and everything and you're worrying about everyone else. And I'm kind of getting like you're getting forgotten in there. It's like, oh, who, me? So you have to start investing in yourself. So there's a huge reprogram that needs to go on there. Do the transformation. Get the guide and do the transformation because you're going to be gifting yourself half an hour to an hour a day where you're just investing in yourself and you're going to start getting a flow of energy. And in, some of the tools that you do, it's just about putting you first. And you need to start doing that, gorgeous. Okay? And work with I am important too. I am important too. I honor myself. Okay? I hope that talks to you, Kylie. Hello, Kath, my gorgeous, gorgeous friend. How are you? Paula, my pleasure. Hi, Glennis. Hi, Christy. Nice to see you. Charlotte, my pleasure. We will touch base. Oops. You can see the back of my house there. Not the back of my house, the back of my study with my kids' things on the wall. Okay, Melissa. Melissa, send me that message through again, doll. And if it doesn't seem to be coming up, so it might be a connection at your end, send me a message in the Facebook and my Facebook page, send me a personal message and I'll tune into you if it doesn't come up here, okay, Melissa? Paola, my darling, amazing, thank you very much. Yeah, such a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Shannon, lovely to see your work, Bernadette. Oh, it's a different side to me, to your cousin that you're seeing, Shannon. But this is the real me. Vanessa, hi, lovely to see you here. Kylie, beautiful. I know there might be some tears there, sweet, but you've got to start investing in you. Oh, no, there are two Kylies. You just missed me, Kylie Fair. Did I? Well, Kylie, if you've got a question, pop that in there. Nicole Neve, hi there. I keep thinking of the number 68. It seems to be related to my work. Okay, let me just tune into that and I'm just going to get an emotion to see what might be going on there. Okay, 68. I'm getting, when you're seeing it, it's about being powerful. It's a reminder that you're feeling powerful in those moments. So start to take notice of what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you're feeling when that number's showing up, because I'm getting it's a reminder to you that you're powerful. So whatever you're doing in those moments, keep doing more of the same. I hope that helps. Okay, hi Gerda. Okay, so Melissa, I've just seen your message come through. Okay, I'm just going onto the computer. And I might make this our last question if that's okay. Okay, Kylie, I'll come to you. Melissa, I'll come to you. Hi, Luke Minto, my darling husband. I'm rabbiting on, but I'm loving this. It's 9:20. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes, but I will talk to you very soon, my love. So Melissa Herring, how to move from procrastination easily to motivation on my passions dream that make me feel fearful. Okay, so you've got passions, you've got dreams, but you're getting stuck because of fear. It's not uncommon. Often people, when they've got this big vision and then fear gets in and just, sideswipes. So okay. So Melissa, this is past life for you. This is about you're not proud of who you were in a past life. And this is why it's kind of annoying you so much when you're procrastinating, because I think fear's got in the way. Oh, I'm getting every time of your dreams, your actual work. So the work that you're meant to do, the things that you're meant to bring to the world. Lots of times, every time, past lives, fear's got in and taken over and has blocked you from getting there. Whew. So this life, this is the one to overcome fear. Fear is letting go of love. I've got a book. It's a really powerful book to get started. Fear is letting go of love, it's called. But if you want a tip, is when you feel yourself closing off, breathe and make a choice to open. When you feel yourself going into fear, you go, no, I open myself and I remember love. Okay, fear and love can't coexist. Okay, so when you allow yourself to be in love, the vibration of love, fear can't come in. And one of the techniques that we use in the guide is bringing yourself into the vibration of love every day. It might just be for a minute to start with, but we build on it and build on it and build on it, and we remember and we remind our energy body of what it feels like to be in the vibration of love. Okay, when you're in that space, fear can't play with you. Okay, I hope that helps, Melissa. Let me know. Just send me another message there and let me know. Hi, Gerda. I'm so glad that you could join me here. And Kylie, so last question, and thank you for all of you who have stuck around. Kylie, what would be the first step to clearing liver meridian? Okay. We need to get that liver energy moving. Let me just tap into that. Like I said, I most of the time it's working on emotion. There is suppressed, so a lot of suppressed emotions that are in that space that is quite stagnant. Okay, I'm getting liver detox, physical liver detox. Sorry, I whistle sometimes when I'm concentrating. A liver detox. Let me just get some clarity around that for you. The words I got, Kylie, get rid of the crap to start with. So there's a lot of toxicity. A lot of toxicity. Let me get rid of the crap from your diet, from your life. Okay. Clean up your diet, clean up your life. There's some friends, there's some people, let's call them, that you need to detox. They're not healthy for your liver energy flow. They make you angry, my friend. And food. Yeah, so you need to get rid of the crap. They're the words I'm getting, so I'm just going to keep saying. Clean up your diet and get rid of the crap relationships in your life. Detox some people in your life. Okay, I hope that helps, Kylie. Let me know. Thanks, Monica. For Melissa, the book is called Love is Letting Go of Fear by Gerald Jampolsky. It was a book that I did read 5 years ago. It's based on A Course in Miracles. Yeah, and it talks all about those things that fear and love can't coexist. So it was a really good starter for me back then around my battle, my dance, let's call it my dance with fear. Gerda. Okay, got sidetracked with the kitties. Yes, it happens. Gorgeous. Mine, fingers crossed, are fast asleep. They haven't come in. So, lovely people, thank you to those of you who have been here live with me. It's been an absolute pleasure to share this space with you. There's 17 of you still live, which I'm thrilled with. And if you've watched the whole way through, thank you. Just really want to encourage you to really think about getting the guide, 10 days, 10 ways to transform. And it's your guide, and join me from the 30th of October, Monday 30th of October, and let's walk through your transformation together. If you can see, where I can go with you, I think you know how that experience will feel in that space. It'll just be a kickstart. It will be quite extraordinary. I can feel it. I know it. I believe in it because these tools have worked for me. So thank you all so much for joining me. The link to purchase the guide is in the top. You'll be seeing some more email, some more posts and things like that coming through social media over the next few days for that. So yeah, just keep an eye on them. Ignore them if you've already purchased your guide. And please touch base, keep in contact, and thank you for sharing this space with me. And good night.